Right. So as you know, logistics is a fairly significant part of Indian economy. Almost 14% of Indian economy is really, you know, what we define as is logistics industry in terms of spend. But what is alarming is if you look at the organized, outsourced market within logistics, that's just 5% of the total market, and therefore that's small, fragmented. And I believe, over a period of time, this will consolidate. There will be a lot of growth that will happen, and growth capital providers therefore will have a critical role to play in helping some of these companies grow and become large and sort of of a certain scale in this country. We've already seen some initial signs of that. There have been investments in certain parts of the logistics value chain, but still I think we have a long way to go. We have seen there's been a lot of investment. In fact, last 8 to 10 years, we've seen significant investment going into ports, roads, airports in this country. Every year we have seen some action. There have been some exits. So there is a good precedence, history, track record of investments on the logistics infrastructure side. We can do a lot more. The problem there is more around transparency and the policy framework, for private sector involvement, which I think is getting sorted out. All right. The other part is really logistics services. I guess your question is more relevant for that because logistics services sector is fragmented, companies are subscale, and therefore when you were to look at it from a PE investment perspective, how many companies are there where you can pump in 10 to 20, $30 million because the sizes aren't large. Even if you find a company of right size where you can pump in that kind of capital, promoter related issues, governance related matters, diligence issues are not easy to deal with. Many of these companies are crippled with cash handling kind of processes. Promoters have very strong control on these businesses. There's hardly any professional management that is there. So I personally do believe that it's not very easy to find and do transactions, especially from a PE perspective in logistics services space. However, and I want to clearly mention that, we have clearly seen over the last few years there's been a lot of interest from global strategics, in logistics services in India, and we've already seen large players have done several acquisitions, on the services side, because this market is very strategic for them, all right? So my take at this whole thing is that logistics infrastructure will continue to see a lot of private equity interest. Logistics services, private equity would face competition from strategics, and one would need to really sort of somewhere play between early stage investment to growth, to find the right place to deploy your capital.